Hi, and welcome back to Change Your Perspective. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be speaking to you guys again and just recording these videos. It feels like walking in purpose. And I mean, it's such an incredible feeling. It's an incredible feeling to know that you're doing what God has called you to do, what He would like for you to do, what He created you to do, what He has gifted you to do. And I would have never imagined that I would be doing this, but here I am. And so, welcome. If you're new, welcome to the channel. I do hope that you would consider subscribing. Please, you guys, like the videos, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with family, share it with anybody that you might know. Just share it, please. And let's build this platform. Let's build this channel into what God has in store for it, right? So today, I would like to talk to you guys about a somewhat serious topic, but in a, light-hearted way today. Today, I'd like for us to talk about why God allows bad things to happen. And I know that it's actually a very serious topic, right? But I would have to say that I can speak about it from the perspective of someone who has been through something really, really bad and seen God bring me through it. Because there are many persons who have gone through bad things, but their perspective of it, the outcome at the end of it was very, very negative. And as I'm saying that, I'm remembering a movie that my husband and I watched recently, right? Which was God's Not Dead, which was part 1, right? God's Not Dead. And in it, there's a teacher who is an atheist. And in his classroom, he is so, he's not manipulative, but he more or less lets his students know that, God is dead, there is no God. And so in order for you guys to pass this class, I just want you all to write on that paper, God is dead, like literally, right? He wanted all of them to do it. And then there was this one student who was a Christian, and he decided, he let the teacher know, well, I'm sorry, I can't do that, right? But the be all and end all of why this teacher was like that is where I'm heading to. Because he saw his mom die from cancer, right? He saw her suffer. He saw her have faith in God, right? And he prayed to God to save her and asked him, to heal her, and he didn't. And she still died from cancer. And so that is what turned him from his feet. He decided that, God is dead. And he hated God. And, really, when, the student, was debating with him and really got down to the nitty-gritty of it, it wasn't so much when he really understand. It wasn't so much that he didn't believe God existed. It was that he was mad at God for taking his mom. And so he knew God existed. He knew God is real. But he chose to believe that God took his mother away from him. And again, you'll see perspective. And that is what it is I'd like to speak to you guys about today. Perspective of difficult situations, trials, tests, loss, right? The perspective that we ought to gain in the midst of that. And your difficult situations are exactly that. They're difficult. There is no easy way through them. They are hard. They are, and that's probably pretty much why, people say, I'm in a storm. When it is you imagine being in a storm, if it is you're in a ship and you're on the sea, right? In a storm, just imagine, you know, the huge waves just crashing down on you, and everything is just rocking, and you feel like if the ship is gonna break and be destroyed. And that is what it feels like when you are in a difficult time, when you're in a storm, when, you know, you have lost someone that you love, when, you know, you are disappointed by someone that you love. You know, a friend hurts you, a boyfriend or girlfriend hurts you, you know, or even right now when we're going through COVID, this pandemic, you know, and some of you may have lost loved ones, some of you may know someone who has passed away, or just, you know, it may not necessarily be a close person. Even if it is a close person, I really, you know, I really feel for you. And even if it was just someone that you know, right, then I understand how you feel. I may not have gone through that exact situation. That is it. I have learned, having gone through losing my little sister, that there are so many things that you're able to identify now with someone else, right? You may not have lost in the exact same way, but you understand how it feels to lose someone. You understand how it feels to go through pain. You understand what it feels like to not be able to sleep at night and just have this pounding headache, you know, and you understand what it feels like to not want to get up the next day, or the day after that, or the day after that, you know, where you just don't know, what am I going to do with my life now? How am I going to make it through this? How am I going to get through the rest of my life? You know, I understand what it feels like. And so it's not easy, but I have seen God bring me through the worst storm that I would have to say was the worst storm of my life thus far. Even bigger than this pandemic, as scary as this is, I feel as if losing my little sister was the worst storm that I have ever personally endured or been through, right? And I've come to the understanding that God allows these things for a reason. There's purpose behind it. Yes, that person is no longer here with us. Yes, we will miss them. Yes, we love them dearly, and we don't know how we're going to live without them, you know, or you don't know how you're going to make it through whatever the situation might be. But there is a reason and there's a purpose behind what is happening, and God knows what that purpose is. We are just the ones who don't know just yet. So, why does God allow bad things to happen to us? And to explain this, I remember something that I wrote, and some of you all might know that I have a blog. So before I even started doing these videos, I actually started writing about my experiences and that kind of thing. And the name of the blog is just like this channel, Change Your Perspective. And so I'll leave a link to the blog post for you all to check it out. But in the post, I was explaining that we are God's children, yes? And so I have to ask the question, what would you call a child that gets everything that they want? Right? They grew up with, you know, as person say, they grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. They get everything that they want. They ask for this, they ask for this toy, they ask for that toy, they get it, right? Whatever school you want to go to, mommy and daddy will pay for it, right? If you are rich and you are just privileged, right? And so the question is, what do you call a child that grows up in that way? How do they usually end up? And the answer to that question is spoiled. They grow up spoilt. They grow up just believing that they're entitled to get everything that they want, and they don't understand what it means to earn something. They don't understand what it feels like to lose something or have something taken away from them. They don't understand what it feels like to have to go without food, clothes, right? Stuff for your hair. I mean, they don't understand that kind of life. And that is pretty much what we would be if we went through life just getting everything that we ever wanted. In that is how we would become. That's how we would become if God just blessed us and poured out more and more blessings and more blessings, just abundant blessings, right? Blessings upon blessings. We just, I'm blessed. Hallelujah. I am blessed, right? That is how we would be. We would be spoiled. And y'all, okay, let's say me, right? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If it was me, I know that I would be so full of myself, and y'all, even without all of that, I was still full of myself, right? Before God arrested me and shook me up and showed me the sin of my heart, right? I was so prideful and so full of myself, and I thought that I was this perfect being, right? Who barely ever made mistakes. And so, I was blessed, and I would get everything that I ever wanted. I went to a good school, and I got the job that I always wanted to get. And it's like, when it is you keep living like that, you become prideful, you become spoiled, you become overbearing, you become just in a way self-righteous, right? A person like that is just not a good question. If it is you've never been through a trial, you've never been through a test, you never had it hard in your life ever, like you never went through anything difficult, that is not a true Christian, because that person can't identify with someone else. How can you come and minister to me if you don't know what it's like to not have food in your cupboard? You don't know what it's like to have to tell your children that, here what, I don't have any money today, right? You don't know what it feels like to lose somebody that you love, who was so very close and dear to you. You don't know what it feels like to have your best friend stab you in the back. You don't know what it feels like, right, to have a dream just snatched out of your hands. That is no kind of life. And I mean, really and truly, if we are honest with ourselves, that's the life that we want. We want for things to be perfect. We want to be able to say that I got everything that I ever wanted. I achieved every goal. I accomplished every plan that I ever made. But the truth of the matter is that for many of us, we met forks in the road, and we wanted to go right and God led us left, right? Or pretty much that direction became, it caved in, right? There was no right turn anymore. You had to go left, right? The fact of the matter is that if we lived our lives with just good things happening to us all the time, we would not be the kind of people that God wants us to be. We wouldn't learn what it truly means to kill our flesh. We wouldn't understand a lot of things that God is teaching us in His Word. It takes enduring tests, enduring trials, facing battles, facing people not liking you, going through difficult situations and trials and trouble. It takes enduring and facing the possibility of dying in a pandemic. It takes, going through the possibility of losing your own life. It takes us going through something difficult. And so, yes, we can be mad at God for allowing us to probably, you were interfered with when you were younger, you were molested, you saw your father beat your mother, your mom was alcoholic, your father left when you were young. But those are the things that God is going to use to shape your life. I know it sounds morbid and crazy because He's our Father and He's supposed to protect us. But the fact of the matter is that He was right there with you and He knew that would happen, because all humankind has free will. And so there are wicked people out there who choose to do wicked things to other people. They choose. And yes, you might have been innocent, but the fact of the matter is that God is a restorer and God is a healer, and God is able to take a terrible story like that and make it into a testimony for Him, to minister to somebody else, to convict hearts, to change mindsets in other lives, to turn around lives to Him. And that is what God did in my life. He used the difficult things that I went through, all through my life, from childhood to now. And now He's birthing gifts in me that I didn't know that I had. He's giving me this ability to speak. When I was younger, I was not good at speaking at all. And I would be terrified of speaking to crowds, and this is what He wants me to do. And He's given me this ability to write after years of me just reading novels and imagining my life away. God is amazing. How He takes what we consider to be just this worthless part of our lives that we want to just crumple up and throw away. That part of the book that you just wish you could rip out and never have to read again and just completely burn it. God has the ability to take that and turn it into something so beautiful and amazing, beyond your own imagination, beyond your comprehension. Trust me. His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. We can never fully comprehend or understand the ways of God, or why He allows things, or why He does things. One of my leaders at church, she said that if you can explain God, then that is not God. That is no God to serve. God should be just so magnificently great and bigger than our minds can comprehend. And that is how He is. If it is you can explain every single thing about God, then I don't know what kind of God you're serving, right? And you shouldn't want to serve a God like that, where He's predictable, right? And you know everything about Him. That's not how it should be. He should know everything about you. That's the way that it should really flow. And that's the way that it does flow. God knows why that difficult thing had to happen in your life. He knows why you're facing what you're facing right now. He understands His plan. He is seeing beyond today. He is seeing into the future of your purpose, His plan that He has for you. And so don't get hung up on right now. Don't get hung up on the difficulty of the situation. Don't get hung up on hating God like that's atheist in the movie. He got hung up on that. And then eventually he had to face the truths and let it go and accept God into his life. Don't get blinded by the situation and the pain of it and the difficulty of it. Just know that his ways are higher than your ways and that he is strong enough to bring you through it. He is strong enough to bring you through it. He did it for me. I can testify. He did it for my family. And it's more than just the loss of my sister. There's so much more to my testimony. I've seen God bring me through, bring me to this place where I'm at right now. Bless me with a husband. Change my entire life around. I've seen him do it. I've seen him bless me in the midst of a pandemic. I've seen him cover us. I've seen him provide. And I know he can do it for you too. So yeah, no matter what you may be facing right now, perhaps all you may have to do is change your perspective.